What up, everybody? This is Carrying the Culture Show, a special episode. We got our man, local jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife. Yo, you do everything. Shit's crazy. Our man C.Scott.
Peace.
Salute everybody, and so we're gonna jump into a lot of different stuff because I know you, but I don't know you, and so this is why it's dope for me because I get a chance to get to know you better. I got a lot of questions, and we're gonna just jump around. This guy does everything, and if you're not familiar, definitely hit the follow and check him out. I mean, he plays the bass, DJs, produces, makes beats. I mean, I don't know if you engineer and master, probably all that shit too. So
Hardly.
Bass guitar. So we're gonna jump into it, man. I mean, I'm excited about this one. So thank you. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, whenever I talk to anybody about you, I'm like, that's my young old dude. I always say that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this dude's older than me, but you're not. But the term's cliche, old soul, etc. But I really feel like that about you, and so I just I need to go back. Like, where did your love of this dope music come from? Like this, I mean, you like good funk, good soul, good house, good techno. Like you like good music, but I'm always trashing your people in your demographic all the time, and rightfully so. So like,
I mean, where do you think I've been?
So then, what's the story, man? Like as far as like background wise.
Yeah. So, born and raised in Pittsburgh, grew up in Squirrel Hill. Tomal's not shaking his head right now.
It's crazy.
And my parents were a little bit older when they had me. My parents are like firmly boomers. I think a lot of people in my generation, the parents are a little bit younger, maybe kind of Gen X age. My parents were boomers, so I grew up on 70s music, pretty much, 60s, 70s music. And that's everything, a lot of it, was rock music, the Beatles, The Who, Led Zeppelin. Got into the prog rock bands later. My dad was real into like Jethro Tull, King Crimson, Yes, stuff like that. My mom liked Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Steely Dan, that kind of music. So that was what was around the house. That's what, I could access. My parents had a couple records, had a big tape collection. My mom had some CDs. So that's how I got into it at first. And then gravitated to playing instruments. My dad played guitar a little bit, so I picked that up. And probably around the time I got to middle school, I was playing guitar, bass, took mandolin lessons for a little bit. I wasn't great on the mandolin, just knew a couple chords, but just was kind of immersed myself as young as I could. And I didn't really catch the hip hop bug until later, kind of getting into jazz, and then that was my bridge, because through jazz I could kind of understand it a little bit better. And I was born in '94, so you got to think by the time like I was really cognizant, to able to really know what was on the radio, it was like Ja Rule, it was 50 Cent. It was kind of trash. It was not great. So I didn't gravitate to it until I could kind of make those connections, like, A Tribe Called Quest is sampling Weather Report,
Okay.
and then that from there, got the bug.
Wow. So like, I mean, were your parents? I mean, they were listening to different music. Were they musicians or are they?
No, my mom's an actress.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's an actress, and she teaches theater history at Point Park, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and my dad is a programmer. So I think that combination, my mom's like in the archives, she's digging in some sense. My dad was a programmer, he was, on the computer all day. It's like, well, what do I do now? I like dig in and then on this computer all day.
Yeah, but it's so you kind of the merger of the two.
So, and plus, another big part of the story, I think, is two things. One is, the Pittsburgh jazz community. And I think when I was like 14, 15, probably the most active, trying to go out to jam sessions and kind of try to be a part of that, to whatever extent a teenager can. It was like a renaissance period a little bit.
Right.
I'm sure anybody from Pittsburgh spoke to you about the Shadow Lounge.
Yeah, all the time.
But I was young.
Right, yeah.
So I couldn't really go to like the parties, the hip hop parties.
Right.
So I was going to the jam sessions on Monday night at Avo. And so there was a jazz jam session. The band was my bass teacher, Paul Thompson on bass, Howie Alexander on keyboard, and James Johnson III on drums, and that was the interval trio. And I was able to go to those nights because those were my mentors. And eventually, Justin like learned my face and was like, you don't have to chaperone him, like you can just drop him off and like, you can stay. We're not going to serve him.
That's crazy.
Liquor, but you can stay for the music. And J-Malls was spinning intermissions. J-Mal is, legendary digger around here, does the Titletown parties. And he was playing, standards, He was playing like CTI, Bob James, breakbeat, hip hop classics. So I'm like listening to this music, Pete and CL and Gangstar and De La, that whole continuum. And then I'm playing jazz, and then there's a DJ kind of connecting the dots for me, helping me to kind of see that. Then the other thing I wanted to say is that like I'm a 3 blocks from Jerry's growing up.
Famous record store in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you grew up literally right around the corner from Jerry's, and so how'd you get into going to there? I mean, that's a legendary spot in Pittsburgh for digging for records.
Right. So, I at first, right, I didn't know anything about like crate digging culture. I didn't know about breaks. I didn't know about any of this stuff. So I was just going there as a kid, probably 11, 12, and I'd be looking for like whatever the music was that I was into. Like I remember buying Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Genesis albums. So that's I was in prog rock real heavy at a certain point, and I just kind of kept up the habit gradually. And also at the time, for anybody who doesn't know the layout of Jerry's, it's this big space upstairs in a building in Squirrel Hill, and there's millions of records in there, like literally millions of records. And Jerry would price everything really, really low. And he would have certain things like that he would auction for higher, potentially. But generally everything was like $3 to maybe $5. And CDs were like double, triple that. So I'm, trying to find out about all this jazz music, and pretty quickly I just kind of figure out like, oh wow, I can just go here, get the same music for like a fraction of the cost. And then, I found out about Tribe, I found out about Primo, I found out about that, and it's like...
Just through digging?
Just, through watching TV, like, I think just like at a certain point when I was ready for it.
I mean, but like, how old were you then? Because again, it's so wild for me, like, because again, I feel like I'm talking to a peer in terms of age. So like, but you were born in 94.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 94.
Yeah.
And so like, that's like Tribe, Wu-Tang and stuff like that. So like, you were born when they came out. But I mean, like, who put you on to like, how did you get put on to that early? Because by the time you were really started listening to music, I mean, I'd say you're 12, 13, I guess. I mean, or...
A little bit younger than that.
Okay, but I mean, as far as hip-hop, though.
As far as hip-hop, yeah, let's say like 14.
So 14 years after 94 is...
2008. Yeah.
So how did you find out about like that shit? And when?
Yeah.
Like where's the connect there? Like the.
So I was just always I was always kind of a digger. I didn't know what that was yet,
That's
but
what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean I was interested in stuff from the past. Like the pop culture of that moment was like, just not for me. I wasn't really into that. The stuff that sparked my imagination was old. It was 70s music. It was, that kind of stuff. And, I would watch a lot of like VH1 back when they were doing like all the 80s, 90s stuff. I even watched White Rapper Show when it came out. Remember that shit?
I remember that shit. I'm trying to forget it, but I do remember it.
Yeah, so I think one day the light bulb moment, they did like top 100 hip hop songs of all time, and it's just Saturday. I have nothing going on. I'm at home, whatever. I'll watch this, and when they started getting to like the stuff I'm talking about, the East Coast stuff, kind of the more boom bap, Nas and De La, Tribe. Then I started making those kind of connections, and I think that's when it kind of got hooked into me. I was like, wait a minute. These guys just like the same music as me, but there's this whole different thing. And bonus point, my parents didn't really understand it, because up to that point, my taste was, a little bit deeper in some cases. Not to be like rude, but like, you know, I was getting into weirder bands. But kind of in line with what my parents liked. And that was something that was mine. It felt like it was like something that I could kind of have this more individual experience with, I guess. Plus, you know, I was an only child, always into video games, always into like fantasy, stuff like that. Hip hop had that too. Right. My third hip hop album I ever bought was De La Soul Is Dead.
Wow.
That's
classic
my
album. All time.
Big touchstone. Because then I figured out, like, whoa, you can do that with hip hop album?
You can be different. Yeah. Right? Like you can really stretch. That album's brilliant, man.
No, it's amazing. Prince Paul is one of my heroes.
Yeah. You know, that album's brilliant. I play Oodles of O's for my grandson. And I play Biddies in the BK Lounge for my grandson. And he's like, you know, so
yeah.
The album's brilliant. Even when they like make a mockery of the house track. It's like,
I was bumping that.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. Cracker. You know, the whole shit is just
everything.
Yeah, no, so yeah, so that's a heavy duty album for you to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, so that was it, and then it was just learning. I didn't have an older brother to really put me on, but my bass teacher was, you know, kind of sympathetic to hip hop. He was kind of coming of age at that time, and you know, he had to learn how to play The Choice Is Yours. You had to play boom boom do 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 do. You know, people wouldn't. You played double bass. You can't play that. People wouldn't leave you alone, right? So he would show me stuff too. So I would learn about like Black Moon. You know, kind of get into some other territory of stuff that, you know, maybe I wouldn't know about otherwise. DITC.
This is from your bass.
Yeah, and there's another guy, drummer in town. His name is David Throckmorton. Sick drummer. He's just an absolutely amazing drummer. But he's like a really deep hip hop head also. So he would tell me about, you know, go listen to Diamond D.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned about being an only child, like, because I'm an only child as well. I grew up that way, and so it's like you have to be resourceful, you know, like in terms of just. It seems like kids that are only children, seem that their imagination is like kind of.
Yeah.
Really, like, it runs the whole gamut spectrum. Like, I mean, because I just remember, I don't know, it's funny, they say the fantasy shit. Like, I had to entertain myself for like hours, like, being at home sometimes. So it's just funny that you say that, because I realize when I bump into people who have their only children, and their imaginations tend to, and their interests seem to be like, you know, pretty broad. So were you like, did you start playing instruments first?
Yeah.
So you were playing
yeah, so guitar, bass, I would dabble with others. Like I said, like, you know, picked up mandolin for a little bit. You know, my parents would just buy me instruments. They were really encouraging of that. So I had lessons, and then I went to the art high school for bass, Kappa.
Right. So, and then after high school, I mean, it's crazy not to that far apart, but after high school, what'd you start doing? What were you doing?
Man, well, shit got real fucked up for a little bit. But yeah, a few years after high school, you know, was still making beats, you know, kind of dropped bass at a certain point and was just focusing on making beats for a while. And then probably around the time I was like 20, going on 21, I got into house music. There was, you know, kind of like a scene in Pittsburgh, kind of burgeoning, kind of bubbling. And I knew some people who were like throwing parties and DJing, and yeah, I like latched on to like the house music that was kind of like similar to hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the sample based stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, like you can do that. Kind of through that, you know, kind of got deeper into like disco and funk music, and started, you know, learned how to actually DJ. Put out some records. Have some of these, probably, you know. You're probably going to speak to this, but, you know, probably a lot of people know me for making house music.
Yeah.
And,
please.
You know, I pull up with the SP404 and they're confused.
Yo, listen. So, okay, there's a joint, I don't know the name of it. Big up to our homegirl, Tina, Get Down Gang. She rocks to it, I rock to it. We used to play it at the headquarters a lot. And I don't know it, you made it, but I didn't know it. And, So they'd be like, oh, just do C.Scott. This was when I first moved to Pittsburgh. Just do C.Scott. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I hadn't met you at the time. And then I heard like a couple more house tracks. Then I think I heard you spin one time out somewhere. And I'm like, oh, he's a house DJ. Like, yo, I mean, that's fucking fire. I did notice there was like a scene here and stuff. A lot of some house DJs here. So I'm like, okay. And then you like took me for a fucking spin when I heard some like other shit, you know, different stuff. So it's like the versatility is crazy, man. Like I just want to say, like, I respect you for like fucking with good music, making good music. Like, when I listen to a C.Scott joint, no matter what the genre, I know that it's gonna be a solid fucking shit. And I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Just wanted to say that. So, all right. So, who taught, like, as far as making beats? Like, did you have did you just start getting equipment and start fucking with it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's basically what happened at first, right? So I didn't really know anybody was making that style of beat in Pittsburgh. You know, like, I just didn't really know it existed. I think this is probably around the time that, you know, Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller are coming up. So there's like producers, there's hip hop in the city that I'm aware of, but, you know, it wasn't like showbiz and AG, you know, like I was looking for that thing. Maybe people were touching on it, but I didn't really know about the people who were like making stuff in line with that.
Right.
So I'm kind of going off of whatever kind of information I can find online, stuff, you know, you can read in liner notes, like, oh, they're sampling Grover Washington, I need to go out and find that record. I'm trying to piece it together. I got this right here, actually, the same one, this SB 404 with Birthday Money one year when I was like 16. And then I just, you know, I know, like, you find records that have drums on them and you chop it up, and then you find loops and you chop them up, and just try to kind of put that together.
So you knew the formula. I was just like, okay, here's what you do, and I'm just gonna go and try to fucking do it. Like, I mean, like, because it wasn't, because for me when I made beats, like, I had somebody sit down with me, and it's like, all right, man, like, you lay your drum out first, or you do this, and you know, and here's how you do this, and here's how you extend the sample, because we only have like a few seconds or whatever. So, but so you sat down and just, so you knew what the, I guess, so what I'm saying, my question is, you knew what the formula was, or what people were doing.
And one other thing, because I didn't know anybody at that point, like, books, articles, like, you know, a couple videos, like, YouTube's in like in its infancy, so there's like the Kev Brown videos, there's this guy Boondock who was chopping samples, so there's people like doing that, but a lot of it was like, I have to go to the library and check out a book about it. You know, maybe like there's what was it, like Check the Technique, the liner notes like book. I read that. I did a summer at Berkeley in Boston, and I read that in the library. Yeah, got a scholarship for that.
How was that experience?
Kind of whack.
Oh, really? Oh shit! I didn't think you were gonna say that.
Shots fired.
Damn.
First shot of the night. Yeah. Berkeley. Well, because I was coming from Pittsburgh, man. I was like, you know, we're prideful here because there was like a real strong jazz tradition and legacy here. So the way I was learning was, you know, this is a kind of direct line from that period of Pittsburgh's history. The people who were teaching me were the people who like were active, like in the Crawford Grill and like the Hill in that scene. And even some of the people who were teaching me were like active in the 50s and the 60s too. So I was coming from that, which was like a really kind of communal, homegrown, like organic thing. And coming into a situation where it was like, you take a bunch of tests and like entry examinations the first day and they give you a fucking number. You're a 3. That pissed me off. I was level 3. I thought I should be a level 4. So they start fucking with you like that. And that's actually kind of when I realized I didn't want to go to music school. Because I thought that was like, man, like, this is so constricting and like, you know, kind of makes you feel bad about yourself because, you know, they give you a number and you have to like work to like increase your number on some like dystopian Hunger Games shit. That's how it felt to me. So I kind of came out, honestly, to be real with you. I bought this before I left that summer, and I didn't bring it with me because I was like, this thing is weird. I don't know, it doesn't work right. But making excuses because I didn't know how to work the shit yet. I'll tell you, man. Like the time I had free from classes, I was listening, I was studying, I was walking around, Boston, Back Bay, and into Cambridge to go digging, with like my allowance money a little bit. I was hanging out in, Newbury Comics all the time, like buying CDs and reading about hip hop, reading about like making beats. And when I got home, this came on, and that was it. That my life changed.
Wow.
So actually, Berkeley had a really big impact on my life, not because it was like the best school you could ever go to. There were some really cool professors. I was in a hip hop ensemble that was pretty dope, actually. I forget the guy who was teaching that. There's another guy, my theory class, what was his name? Winston McCoo. He was a cool guy. There were some cool people there.
Right.
I don't want to just like talk shit on my professors. There was some shysters. You get no love. No mention. I'm not even going to say your name. But yeah, just the overall atmosphere of it, I thought was pretty weak. Oh, one more thing. They had a turntable lab there.
Oh, really?
You could take a DJ course, and I thought that was actually pretty cool. And they had like the whole record room back there. I was thinking about trying to steal an MPC 2500 at one point. I was like, I probably could do it. I don't know if anybody would.
Oh, shit. the old C.Scott.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Were you there for a semester?
It was the 5-week over the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was just a truncated experience. I kind of came out of it like, man, this music academia, going to jazz college thing, I don't know if I want to do that. And then you focus on the beats. I just tried to like learn the SP404.
So you haven't gone any. So I was going to ask you that. So you haven't, other than high school.
Yeah.
No.
Just I learned a lot in high school, and later on, when I picked bass up again, kind of later in life, like, a lot of it came back, and I got some opportunities. And I'm not playing actively a lot right now, but I'm teaching. So teaching lessons.
Yeah. So okay. So now I need to get the list right. All right. So you play bass.
Yes.
Guitar.
Bass, guitar, upright bass a little bit too.
Right. It was and bass. You play. You DJ.
Yeah.
And I'll say you make beats, and I feel like, and I'll say produce, because to me they're two different things. They're not necessarily the exact same thing. What else? You play any other instruments?
Like bad guitar, bad piano.
Yeah, pick it up and start fucking with it.
Yeah, you can figure things out, but I would only really describe myself
as a
bassist, as an instrumentalist, I guess, and then I make beats and I DJ.
All right, so what gives you the most juice out of those things? Because they're all different. They're very different, in some ways. I mean, and so what gives you the most juice, man?
I mean, the thing that gets me out of bed, the thing that I love the most, definitely got to be beat making. The whole process. I'm a great digger. I love going out in the field, finding records, coming back here, chopping them up. That's the thing. Like, if I have to pick any one thing that I feel like defines me as a musician, that's it.
What's next?
What's next, man? I'm just trying to get.
No, but I'm saying, would you say DJing or I'm talking? Because it's so funny. Because to me, all right, so as an observer, you're very good at what you do with all these things. Like, I've heard you DJ. I'm like, man, this dude's like really fucking good. Transitions are good. Like, I'm not, it's like, all right, here you make beats. Different types of beats. I'm like, shit, this dude's in his fucking bag. This, that, okay. And, I've seen you on the bass and stuff, and and I'm like, okay, yeah, he says he's rusty, but I can tell it's motherfucker practice a little bit more. So it's for me, I look from afar and I'm like, man, this dude is really, really good. So like, what's the next thing after that you would fall back on or fall back to? Would it be the instruments or?
Yeah, I'd say. I really love
is DJ the thing you picked up last?
Yeah, DJ it was almost like, my impression of DJing really before I kind of got invested in, house music, dance music was like scratch DJing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I heard on records. Okay. That's what I thought, like it was. And I'm awful. I tried to, I'm still trying to like get my cuts up a little bit. I was practicing with Stealth. Big up my man Stealth from the Get Down Gang. So I got a little bit nicer with that. I'm still, not really a scratch DJ. So I was like, man, let me just focus on the beats. Let me just focus on playing bass. I'll leave that to like the people who were like super nice with that. But when I got into, dance music, one, I kind of discovered I already had the records. I was like, oh, well, I can just play like disco records. Okay, I can beat match that.
Yeah.
Learned how to beat match. Started digging more specifically for, dance music and stuff. And then that was kind of the template. And so when I DJ now, I'm trying to venture out and kind of not do that as much, but the foundation of it is definitely like disco, house music, kind of coming from that angle. So it's funny, like, yeah, man, like what you're saying, like I have so many different things that are like fragmented in different ways, and it's hard for like anybody to understand that, including me. When's
your birthday? And I'm not a horoscope astrology guy.
I'm a May Gemini, May 25th.
I'm May 23rd.
Okay, word. Okay.
So check real quick. When I was in high school and I had to take like aptitude tests or like what's your vocation in college and shit, they thought I was faking it because I liked so much different shit.
Yeah.
They thought I just fucked around. I'm May 23rd. Yo, that's so as soon as you, yeah.
Yes, I mean, dude, like I've been going through it trying to figure out, what defines me because, not to be too fucking bitter or anything, but like, the dance music thing, like took some shorts, like kind of, was feeling dissatisfied with it. The scene kind of moved in a different direction that I wasn't really feeling around here. Just, is what it is. And now I'm kind of in a position where like, I'm not really trying to focus on dance music as much and just trying to like kind of recenter back into, the thing that I think makes me the happiest, which is making these beats. That's my center. And I figured out, when things were down at a certain point, like, man, like everything else could be falling apart around you and you're still going to try to like chop a breakup. Go with that. That's what you do.
Right. So then my question for you, I'm an outsider here in the city as far as understanding how things work. To me, I should say this. What's the end game for you as far as the music goes? Are you just doing this because you like to do it and it's just it's a release and it's just like, yo, I'm in my happy place? Or is it like, yo, I'm talented, I feel like I'm talented enough to fucking make this my full-time gig as far as performing or whatever it is? Like, what's the end game for you?
Yeah, I'm teaching a lot. I'm trying to do gigs, juggle things. So I'm living off of music. I don't have a job that's outside of music right now. As far as my goals and next steps, the process right now, I'm trying to figure out like just different avenues and different opportunities to promote myself, promote my music. Like I said, the dance music, DJ, producer kind of club model, not really trying to do that long term. And plus it's just hard, man. Like being up 5, 6 in the morning consistently and then trying to like maintain relationships, maintain work, it's brutal. It's really hard. So, looking into just kind of expanding this, just strategizing about how I could like get the beats out to people.
Right.
That could be, producing for other people. That's even like a back burner priority right now to like, unless I find like the right artist, if somebody's like dope and it clicks, absolutely. But, really just trying to like market myself as a beat maker, trying to like learn how to do videography a little bit so I can make videos for myself, of better quality.
Right.
Trying to think of some stuff like that, making sound packs, people want drums, right?
Yeah. Some people want drums.
Some people, hey, I'm not going to say nothing if I want to sell packs.
No, anyway, but so yeah, okay. Yeah. So you're saying, you don't see the like long-term like DJ C.Scott in the clubs fucking like,
well, never say never, but like
as a main thing, I guess is what
I'm not trying to like hustle my way into that position,
right,
doing that. Like,
okay.
I'm more like, look at Madlib, right? Like Madlib is somebody who I look up to for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that, you guys book to DJ whatever he wants to play at like large festivals based off of just people having this expectation that he has a good taste in music based on what he samples.
Right.
That's ill.
That's dope.
That's ill. Like,
yeah. No.
Or like, I see, like Large Professor, like Large Professor and like Lord Finesse killing the doubles, stuff like that, like the 45s.
Yeah.
Crazy. So there's a lane that you could operate in, or I could operate in as a DJ, I feel like at some point, but it's just I think the beats come first.
Yeah.
To making that happen the way that I want to make it happen.
Right. No, I hear you. That makes sense. That's a good way to look at it. I feel like the beats could kind of be a jump off to,
because you have to brand yourself, right? So like the thing is, I was running around, for so many years, like mostly DJing house music and putting out house music, but like at my core, I'm like a hip hop beat maker. I never stopped doing that. So now I'm just kind of trying to streamline a little bit. Not that I'll never do house again, or I'll never DJ club night again, but just like put that aside a little bit. Let's focus on the beats.
No, it's dope because I think it's good. I mean, and you're speaking to me because I have a ton of different interests, and our platform, it's like, okay, we want to do this, we want a YouTube podcast, but it's like, all right, what's our I look at, okay, what's our lane? What are we good at, and what comes naturally? What gives the juice? And so, trying to streamline. So it makes sense. Let me ask you a question real quick because we're gonna jump into some music and you're gonna share some stuff. But I've said it a couple times. I'm an outsider here, so like you're from here, born and raised, and it's so weird for me because I see talent here. I hear about the history here. I've gone to some parties where I'm like, whoa, dope DJ.
Yeah.
This lightning strikes, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? But overall, like in 2022, as far as I know, the Pittsburgh music scene is a little slow. I mean, on all levels, not just hip hop. I mean, on every single fucking front. Maybe some other things are popping, but so do you see yourself perhaps moving elsewhere, or do you see yourself trying to do it here? Because what I've seen with Pittsburgh locals is that a lot of people leave and then they come back. A lot of people don't leave because they're just Pittsburgh, and so I wonder just out loud to myself, like, okay, is this? Because I'm like, damn, yo, I want to see Scott to fucking take over the fucking universe. Like, can that happen in Pittsburgh?
Well, I think if you approach living here and trying to make it in the music industry as like, I need to get on top here and be the most poppin' person here, you're gonna have a fucking miserable time. You're gonna have a really bad time.
There we go.
Straight up. And that's, I can elaborate in private, but right now, that's what I'll say. I think that things here can be kind of fickle, if I'm being honest. Right? Like people pop off and then they disappear, and they never get talked about 6 months from, when you last heard about them, right? So it's rough. It's really rough, and for a small city, politics can be kind of crazy. Like, definitely. Can be kind of hard to navigate. And I'm sure that it can be like that in any city. I don't want to be too bitter about my experiences, but it's rough because we have a lot of connections outside, but the actual industry here is very, very, very small.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who are kind of vying for that spot.
Right.
And I see it as being maybe more sustainable, maybe healthier for your mental, for everything else. Just kind of look at Pittsburgh as like this really, really dope home base. It's not expensive to live here. You have access to I have access to like two of the dopest record stores in the world. I feel like Jerry's and the Attic hold me down. I'm not wanting for much, and I can live with relatively low overhead, make my art, and figure out how to get it out of the city.
Yeah. Perfect response to that, man. And it's funny because it's a similar approach that I have to what we're trying to do with our platform here. I'm always like, man. Past few years, I'm like, I should try to throw an event here, a party here. And I'm like, nah, it probably won't work right now. I'm like, but our shit's kind of global. And it's like, so it's like, but I'm here. So, and in 2022, things are different because like you can be somewhere, you can be on the other side of the earth and pop off somewhere else. And
I think, one thing that's been true about Pittsburgh forever, is that no matter what's going on, no matter what's hot, like what's doing numbers in the city, what gets people's attention, what gets the press, yada yada yada. There's like universes, constellations of stuff happening underground that you would never like realize until you're in a basement in Oakland.
Dude, I know.
It just pops off.
I fucking it's so strange. It's the strangest shit, and there's events that I haven't found out about until like the day of the event, like an hour before the event. There's it's strange.
Yeah.
And there's a vibe here, and there's an energy here, and it's dope, and it's like here and there and in pockets, and it's like. But it's interesting. So it's a good point.
But I love Pittsburgh. I love home. I love a lot of the artists who are here. So it's not all bad.
No.
But I feel you. Like as a native, like been here forever. It can be tough. It can definitely be tough to like find a community, find your niche for like this, right? The Shadow Lounge era was so beautiful and amazing, but. The reality is that since then there hasn't been like a consistent spot you can go to hear this kind of music.
And listen, be candid, because I'm like a really big fucking nerd about this type of things, like as far as like demographics, anthropology type shit. The Three Rivers and all these fucking hills and mountains affect things and the bridges because people. Yes. I've talked to people. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna throw a party over here. And they're like, oh, you're gonna throw it over there?
Yeah.
Don't throw it over there because people won't cross that bridge. So there's a lot of weird shit here. Localized nuances that are just different, and so because everyone said, there hasn't been a spot like the Shadow Lounge, and it's so funny because it's like I see spots all over the place, but because they're not in the right area for like the right group of people to go to, then they're not gonna go. I've been to birthday parties for like Pittsburgh OGs or whatever, and I see people that I've never seen before in my life. Party's dope. Music's dope. Energy's dope. Yo, what up? What's my name? What's your name? I don't really come out too much.
Yeah.
I don't really, I haven't been out.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly like my interpretation of what happened was that the spot went away, right? And there was pressures kind of coming from different angles that like led to the closure, but it ended. A lot of people who were the most active in that era, like honestly, they kind of aged out of it, man. Like they have families, they have jobs they're committed to. Justin started that on, like overextended lines of credit that, he was like struggling to pay off just because he was, in his 20s and he was just like, hey, I can do this. Let me try. I'll mess with my credit, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Right.
And, people got a little bit older and they had real. There was like real responsibilities that they had to take care of. Right. Then, the kind of disconnect was that, my generation coming of age, 18, 19, 20, 21, in that gulf didn't have that step ladder up.
Right.
I mean, I had it on a craft level, right? Like, I learned a lot from people like Bus Crates, Nice Rec, G-Man, Shade Cobain, like Selecta, like people who like, I really got something from. But, the opportunities to like build up a scene kind of went away.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh, I mean, the thing is Pittsburgh is it's a city, but unfortunately it's a small city, and so like if the major players bow out, then that's the end of the scene sometimes.
Yeah.
And so like it's not there wasn't anybody left to really fill the void, and it wasn't like in New York. I mean, it's just certain areas. It's funny, like in New York. I mean, you're not relying on one group of people to like hold down the whole scene.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's like so hard about it out here is that literally if one person stops doing stuff, like a whole thing can bottom out. So and so falls out with so and so, and it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Over like two people's like little dumb beef.
Right. So let's jump into some shit. Soul Slime spinning around. Big up to our people, Soul Slime Records, Momo Nate on. You know what I'm saying? We are in the lab with producer, DJ, bass player, mandolin player, all around swell guy, hopscotch king,
hey.
Jack of all trades. He plays marbles. Fuck. Our man C.Scott. He's also, he's a fucking Forex trader too. He does everything. So I got questions. I'm a dummy. I used to do this a long time ago, but I haven't done it in years. So I like lights and buttons and stuff like this. So SP404. This is the baby, right?
This is the first piece I got. This is the SP404SX. I have an SP404A at home right now. It's kind of the same thing. I just got another one to do live shows. And this is the new one, the SP404 Mark II. I also have an MPC at Nadon's crib right now. We were tracking out joints for a split tape.
So shit. Yeah.
It's living over there right now.
Yeah. So what up, everybody? Salute y'all. We got our man C.Scott, young old man, I call him. This dude does everything, hip-hop, house, whatever, jazz, Brazilian shit, samba, whatever. Hey. Samba de Janeiro!
Hey, don't get me started.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Got the samba
that's my shit. That's my fucking shit. That's my shit. We can play that. So, so we're in the lab. We got a few things going on. So, if you want to play anything for us or whatever, talk about so what's your go-to machine? I guess we can talk about process. People like you're in the process. So, if you're gonna come sit down, you're like, yo, I'm in the mood to make some fucking music, man. So, what's take us through your flow a little bit?
Right now, the mission is trying to master the Mark II. This machine just came out last year, but it was on back order forever, so I only got mine in February. So I've had this for about 6-7 months now, and it's the new brain. I'm trying to really put some work in to learn this machine inside and out. It depends, man. So this is the brain right now. At different points, it's been the SX. At different points, it's been the 2000 XL, the MPC.
These both sample and shit, right? And that's how you make most of make. I mean, you're sample heavy, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I can play you joints I made.
Play some joints.
Samples. Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Do you want to hear some no sample C.Scott joints? I can do.
Let's do it all. So the people in our show, they're sample heavy. They're tech geeks. They're nerded out. But but we like the samples. They like to see the process. But it's
I have a beat I was showing you earlier. Let me break that down before I get into some other stuff.
All right, let's do that. We're gonna break down a little joint that he was working on.
All right, so I'm gonna do my best to not give up these records. This record right here, it's a local R&B record. I found this recently, and it's not my favorite record I've ever heard, but there was a part on it that stood out to me.
Word. This beat is hot, everybody. By the way, stick around for this. This beat is hot that he's about to fucking put on.
So let's see. It's the A1 cut. Sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes you're digging around the whole record looking for samples. Sometimes it's the first thing on the fucking record, man. Can't call it all the time. It's good on that label, that beautiful Pittsburgh International Records label.
All right.
Right. So it's all hooked up.
In the lab, C.Scott. That's got me just feeling old right now. Feeling good. Where my grandma at?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I feel like we about to. Oh shit. Alright. So that's gonna be a woo.
So that's the main sample. Then over here I have another record. So you said I'm a young old man?
Yes, you are a young.
Yeah.
Yo, he's older than me, but he's really younger than me. That's crazy too. At the same time.
Yeah, I am.
You're older than me. You really are. I'm 46, but he's 28, but he's really 63.
So, just out of habit, I still try to get all my all my drums off of records.
Wow.
So I got. Right? So, big up to my man Buzz Crates. I didn't mention him enough earlier, but he was one of my main mentors as a producer, as a beatmaker. He actually tossed me this record.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't have a cover, but...
Big up Boogie Buzz.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
And he really put me on to listening as close as you can to find the drum hits in between everything.
Just that one little piece, yeah.
Boom, boom. Okay, he's a Jedi. Like the way that he listens to records is insane. Like I can't get anything past it. He knows what snare I used every time.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, like
he's the Yoda of this shit, huh?
He's
big up to Bus Crates.
Bus Crates is the Yoda of this whole game, man.
And here's the thing, I'm gonna tell all you guys out there, man. So I take every chance I can to like crap on Pittsburgh. However, the people that I've met here, as far as from just being good people and the talent that I've met here is solid, super serious. Like I don't fuck with slouches. Would not be over here right now with C.Scott if he wasn't fucking nasty. Like that's, so there's a lot of dope talent here. Like that's very important to that I wanted to point that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always crapping, but yo, Bus Crates, nasty. C.Scott, nasty. And there's people, and I've met a lot of talent here. So we're going to take those two samples.
Yes.
And we're going to jump right into this.
So I just have, basic kick, snare, hi-hat. Sounding crispy. Let's process that with the effects in here. And then sample chop. This is a real simple beat. So I time stretched it. Pitch shifted it. Chopped it up a little bit. Then you get.
In the chamber. I need this one. This is C.Scott. Yeah, I love that shit.
Cool. And this thing is so ill too. I had the sample recorded in earlier, and then I was like riding around. I went to the mall, took the T out to the mall, and on the ride back, I just had this battery powered, chopped up the sample on the bus.
Word.
Yeah, on the train. Yeah.
Nice.
So this thing is crazy, man. You can do a whole lot with it, and I've been just trying to like get inside it and really learn it. Even load up another project file, see if I forgot anything on here. That's so fun. Quick beat,
Yeah.
Forgot about this.
What up, Shorty Shot? You feel me?
This is rare. I forgot about this. Alright, let's see what else I got in this.
Alright, let's see what we got.
So the last time I played this one, the tempos were fucked up, so let me make sure it's not. Oh, let's see what it is. You got that? Okay.
Just in time for Halloween right there. That's some ghoulish. It's funny because I don't really hear beats like this from you that much. The stuff that I've heard, I haven't.
Yeah, I tap into it every now and
but I, so. Your stuff usually has a lighter feel to it to me, which I like. But what up, Williams?
Here's one. Actually, let me just, I recorded this already.
Yeah, whatever. You know, we just playing some joints.
Sometimes, man, I make all these beats and, like, I'm looking at all the patterns.
Right.
I just forget what the fuck I did.
We're in the lab with our man C.Scott. He's carrying the culture show.
Alright, so play the samples. That little clap there. What's that happening here? Long piano sample. Cool. Bass notes.
Okay.
Percussion, little drum break. So all that put together, end up with. Oh, I know what's wrong. Now we're good. That's probably like more the feel you know me for, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yep.
That's all straight out of the machine. If you look at the session file, right?
Oh, you said that's no samples, right?
No, this is samples, but it's straight out of the machine. I didn't like multi-track or anything. It's all straight out of here. I just beefed it up a little bit faster, but it's raw.
Yeah, I'm fucking with that too. In the lab, C.Scott carrying the culture show. Playing some joints. Give him a follow at C.Scott412. Beats all day, hip hop, house, whatever. The young old man.
I'll press pause on that real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me play another couple. Let me make one, man.
Yeah, we got a few minutes. So yeah, play a joint. It's your stage, man. You need to fuck with this cat, and I'm telling you, like I just keep telling you, this dude is fucking ridiculous, man. And everything that I've heard him put out, make, whatever, has always been solid. And
the D'Angelo flip.
Okay. What? C.Scott, Pittsburgh. Woo.
Once again, just straight SQ shit.
Yes, sir, I agree.
What's happening in the chat?
Oh, you can't go in because the feedback will be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you a comment. One of the dopest around is one of the comments that I just got.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? From my man. C.Scott. What up, y'all? The flip. That joint is dope.
Thank you, man. Yeah, let's get into it. Let me try to make something right now.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right. Just gonna clear out new project. So it's totally blank. Nothing in the machine right now. Let me show you. I was telling you, I found this record yesterday. Compilation record. Has a bunch of stuff on it. So there's a couple obvious loops on here. Maybe try to do that real quick, or we'll see. I mean, Hear it. You probably heard this one before.
Let's see what we got. We're gonna make a beat. I just say
with the knives on it.
I'm not gonna make anything. I'm just gonna watch. But so I just say we, motherfucker, out of here. C.Scott is gonna make a beat. Grabbing a joint sample. Let's see. Can he make a beat in 9 minutes?
Can I make a beat in 9 minutes? Let's see.
All right, 9 minutes. Can he make a beat?
All right. Let's start.
All right. Challenge.
These are gonna be my best.
Nah,
But it'll be a beat.
let's go. We didn't list the qualification.
All right, I got the sample.
All right.
Easy layup.
But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Would it be that quick in general? I mean, obviously we're pressing you now, but I'm saying like, would you dig through that joint a little bit more, or like?
Yeah, I mean, normally I try to be like more clever with it. And, you know, I like to use a lot of different sections in the same song.
Oh, okay.
When I can, like doing that kind of stuff. But also, this is definitely a case where the loop is just so right.
Right. Here we go. Everyone's yeah. C.Scott is making a beat within 9 minutes. He didn't say it was going to be a good one, but I know it's going to be good. Because he's C.Scott, motherfuckers. Y'all hear that? Woo!
Okay, so get this over here. Get this over here. Go ahead and truncate that. How much time I got left?
You got 6 minutes.
Okay. Okay, maybe get another couple chops in and do drums. Truncate that. Cool. Set that all on mute group. So
C.Scott at work in the lab.
Alright, so let's try to get down 4 bars real fast. Monetize it. I gotta do my drums, so. What's my tempo at actually? Maybe like. Saying like, okay, 92, let's rock with that. So, 4 bars. That, cool. Tempo's kind of falling off. Let me try to do. Even faster, okay. That's what I was fucking up. 97, okay. I'll rock with that for right now. Drums here.
Oh shit.
Maybe I'll run out of time a little bit, whatever.
It's all good. Damn.
Hard to take time trying to figure out what drums I want to use.
Damn. And so you know like what drums are on all those joints?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
These are easy to chop up. Okay, so we got the loop down. Easy enough. Normally I might try to like play with the effects a little bit more.
Right.
Stretch it, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's get the drums in. Not there.
Alright.
So first things first, I'm gonna get this shit's mono. More on the left side, so let's make that.
Wow.
Actually, kicks are a little bit stronger over on the right side, so I'm gonna take the kicks from the right. Bring that right there. This is the process, right? That's chopping up these breaks. I can't not do that. I'm stubborn. That sounds good. And then I want to go over to the other side, to the left. Still 9 minutes?
We got 1 minute left.
Oh shit, okay. Alright, so I'm not even gonna try to process these anymore. Let's just make it. Cool. Cool.
This guy. 9-minute beat. 9
I
minutes.
can do, if I just want to get a quick little thing going, I'll put the drums on the cassette sound. Normally I do more to process my drums.
Right.
But we got a time limit, so just put that. Make sure that's...
You saw that, Logan? You saw that? Our man C.Scott. This is the Carrying the Culture show. And he just made a beat in 9 minutes that is better than the shit most of these motherfuckers are making. Well,
hold up, something got funky. Technical difficulties. Where'd my hi-hat go? I was like, oh. There we go.
You're good.
Yeah. That's the beat.
Yes, sir. Fuck with our guy, man. I'm telling you, this dude is nice. Nice on all this shit. He will take a little bit longer on your beat than 9 minutes if you. I promise. But we want to.
It's just if anybody wants it.
We want to thank everybody for rocking with us. We'll get this up on the YouTube channel, and we'll tag our man C.Scott. He'll get this up on his shit. Rock with him, C.Scott. Episode 102. It's a special episode of the Carrying the Culture show, Pittsburgh. Jack of all trades, master of all trades, our man C.Scott. Thank you very much for rocking with us, y'all. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we'll get this up. Salute y'all. Thanks for joining in. Peace.